Hello, everyone. It's that time of the week again. Welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint, where we discuss everything that's happened during the week with our little old club, West Ham. My name's Nicky Hawkins. I'm here with my usual co-hosts, minus a couple today, but Ryan's here today. All right, mate?
Yeah, not bad, mate. You? I was here. I was here last week, but I was a little bit late. Yeah. No, it's good, mate. It's been a good week, a long week, a very hot week. Yeah, very hot. I'm sweating.
It's gonna get hotter, mate. Apparently.
Yeah, I know, and I like the sun, but I noticed it today because I work in an air-conditioned office, so I don't really feel it during the day. But this afternoon we had a barbecue outside work, and we were sitting in the sun, and coming out of that cold office into the sun, you proper felt it. I was like, "Woo!" Nearly got me tits out at one point.
Yeah, I'm getting a little tan, to be quite honest with you. I'm going Reading tomorrow. It's meant to be really hot tomorrow, but yeah, man, it's going to be fucking hot.
It's going to be melting. Huh? Is that thing you step out your aircon in your car? It's like when you get off a plane and you're on holiday.
My aircon's when they first open. I've got to get it regassed, I think.
I don't put aircon on, mate. Diesel's too expensive now. But I'd rather sweat. I'd rather do a Del Boy and pretend I've got it on. Sweat, driving and sweat dripping down me like that. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about the weather as well is it's sad when you have a nice cider and you just see the ice melting so quick. That's the worst thing about it. But yeah, I've gone for the cider tonight. Didn't fancy a beer.
I got one of these.
I popped up the shop and got a nice few ciders. So yeah, looking forward to it.
I'm gutted. I'm no beer, only spirits, and I've got no Coke or lemonade to go with it. So I'm a bit.
We're just having a straight Scotch.
No, I'm on water.
You finally got rid of them Fosters that you got about Christmas time.
Yeah, all gone. Everything's gone. It's either rum or whiskey, and I ain't drinking that straight. Not on a school night, anyway.
Yeah, you ain't a pirate.
Just quickly before we go on to anything, my son got the West Ham goalkeeper kit, the whitish one. It's even fucking uglier when you get it in the flesh, man. My goodness me.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them up close.
Horrible.
I don't like them. Yeah, I wouldn't
want him to hear that. If he's watching, he's very nice. Yeah. Oh, that's it. I thought you was talking. Sorry.
Who?
You said something.
I didn't say anything.
Oh. I don't know. Maybe there was a bit of a delay on here. Welcome to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. As I say, I'm going Reading tomorrow. Dom's in the fucking chat already going, I ain't got no room for you in the car no more. He can't even drive, the spastic. But look, what we got first on the agenda? Dom, Scott?
What we starting with? What do you want to start with?
I think we should start with the Alese sale. I think that's come out of the blue a little bit, isn't it? It's
bit of a shock. There's Sunderland fan in the chat. Where's he gone? Who said it was even out of the blue for them? Here we go. And I said, if Alese signing come out of nowhere, but the fact your fans are disappointed he's left is a good sign for us going forward and see him in action. Yeah, so weird. It's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, he played the other night, and yeah, it has come out of the blue. But I mean, some of the people on Twitter today are having a right meltdown over it. And yeah, he's been at the club a long time. Was he ever going to be a first team starter? Probably not. So look, it's always no one likes it when someone leaves the football club, and I think that's what a lot of fans do. They get upset because they think they're being betrayed by the player. But if he's going to get game time at Sunderland, he's going to rather want to play. And Sunderland are a massive football club. He's going to want to play for them and get play probably week in, week out, than not ever get a chance at West Ham. And when you think about it, I mean, we've had so many youngsters leave us over the past, say, 10 seasons. How many of them have actually gone on to play in the Premier League?
Not many.
None of them.
That's the thing. You look at the it's not so much so of a. There was more of a meltdown last season with Grady leaving, or the season before. What one was it? It was the season before.
Yeah.
And he didn't go on to live up to what we expected playing for West Brom. So
and
maybe Moyes, he looked good, didn't he? In what the games that we saw of him, but maybe Moyes just didn't fancy him. Maybe
I think they rate that Baptiste a little bit more. That's why they've sort of kept him.
That's the thing, and then you've also got the rumblings of Diop not being allowed to be sold. So maybe the fact that Moyes wants to keep Diop has obviously limited the opportunities for Alese, and that's why he said, "I want to go."
Yeah.
Or the club have let him go. We don't know the ins and outs at the moment.
And as I said, when you think about it, all these players that have left the football club over the last 10, 15 years, not many of them have actually gone on to play in the Premier League. So, maybe they are the right decisions. I mean, great. Diagana hasn't set the world alight since he's left, and Gaki certainly hasn't. I just think that the Premier League's such a... It's... what's the word I'm looking for? It's tough. The Premier League's tough, and to make it in the Premier League, you got to be that extra bit special. And I know people say, "Oh yeah, but Diop ain't that good," but Diop's better than Alese. That's why he's playing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sad. Yeah, it is gutting because I thought he looked all right the other night. But these youngsters now just want to play first team football, and I don't blame them for leaving. Like Perkins, people got upset because he's left. He wants to play first team football. He's been at least he's been at the football club for 14 years. The last 3 seasons, he's been in and around the first team squad, but he's never started a Premier League game.
The thing is, when you look at these youngsters, and I think I had a bit of a fucking wobble when it comes to Diangana, but the thing I did tell you about Diangana is Diangana was something that we needed at the time. It was pace. We still do. We still lack pace, and I think Diangana would have done a bit better than with us than he done with West Brom, because he's just got something a little bit different to. And at the time, he'd played in the Premier League. He played there. He was. I wouldn't say he was an established member of the squad, but he was certainly someone that you could call upon.
The difference with Diagana, though, I think the money was too good to turn down for him.
It was good money. But there is that factor that he's got a little bit of what we haven't got in the squad. Even still, like he had pace, and as I said, I think he would have done a bit better for us than he'd done for West Brom. And the player that we sold him for, Ben Rama, I don't think he's exactly set the world alight either. He's a frustrating figure. He's a polarizing figure. You can, some people love him, some people hate him, and some people, worship the ground he walks on, and some people don't want to see him in the side. So he's definitely a polarizing figure. But when it comes to a youngster, there isn't many, and I think where the frustration's coming from West Ham fans is they sometimes they try and force the this they want to see more youngsters coming through. They want to see more youngsters, and when they hear like promising names like Alese or Alese or however you want to say it, they get a little bit right. He's going to be the next one. He's going to be the next Rio Ferdinand. He's going to be the next James Tompkins. He's going to be this. He's going to be that. And a lot of the times we heard the same about Elliot Lee. Very good player. He's going to be very good striker. Blah blah blah. He's never gone on to make the grade. We heard the same about Potsy's boy, Moncoeur's boy. You know what I mean? These players that they people want to see them come through. They want to hang on to this notion that we're the Academy of Football. Martinez, Tony Martinez, he's another one. And people are so desperate for them to get chances, but you've got to. I do think there's room for more of our youth to get in the side, but at the end of the day, you've got to trust the management team. They watch them day in, day out. After these people whinging and moaning about, Alese, haven't watched him. They haven't seen him past, the Carabao Cup games and the friendlies. You can't judge someone from a couple of sporadic appearances. Yeah, he looked good at times, but put him up against Cristiano Ronaldo, see how good he does look, or someone like Lukaku. There's a reason that they're not in the side. There's a reason that they're.
I think we'd look good against Lukaku, to be honest.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
they did that to Italy.
You know what I mean? But that isn't just about. That isn't just stuck to like youth players. That's stuck to first team players as well. There's players like Oli PRJ said Martinez is scoring goals at Porto. Yeah, he is, but he didn't even get a chance at West Ham. Now I'm not saying that Martinez couldn't become a Premier League starter for someone, but you have these attributes and people can tell who could break into the first team and who couldn't break into the first team. You have to trust their judgment. Yeah, that people do get it wrong, and with Alese they could get it wrong. But when you look at the likes of, I'm not going to put Diangana in it because Diangana was a a little bit different. But when you look at the likes of all of those players that you've said, none of them have gone on to have fantastic careers. I just think it's sometimes we just get a little bit caught up, and I do understand. Look, there was one time where we was churning out academy products left, right, and centre, but we aren't at that point at the moment. You know what I mean? Like whether it's the manager, whether it's the what's coming through, whether it's the quality of player, I believe it's I think it's a lot down to the way that these players get promised so much so young, and I don't think some of them work hard enough to get into the first team. Some of them are happy to sit there, on pro contracts, collecting £20,000 a week without actually touching the fucking first team football field. I do think that's a little bit down to it. There isn't a desire to break into the first team because some of the youngsters these days, the ones with promise, are earning what first teamers were earning 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when they're sitting in, getting their scholarships. And there is that sort of thing about desire. But, you've got to trust the management team. If there is a player that's going to break the mold, that they think is going to change the first team, he'll be in the first team. He'll be there. Yeah, they didn't think Alese was.
Yeah, you are right. You've only got to look at, you look at Ben Johnson, for example. He come in at a time when he was needed. He took his opportunity and he's pushed on since then. So, like I said, you do have to trust in the manager. And I think with the youngsters, it's a bit hard for them to break through because obviously where a club changes manager a lot, they normally change philosophy in the style of play and that type of thing. And you sort of try and then get your under 23s, under 21s, under 18s playing a similar sort of way. So that if you do find a little gem that can slot into a role, it works, So if you change systems, stuff like that, then you could be in with one manager, another manager comes in, changes it all up a bit, and then you find, all right, if I'm a left back, he wants to play wing backs, I'm out the door. And it's tough, but like you said, there's not really been any that have said. Like I know someone put in. I think I've started the comment. Someone said that Martinez is scoring goals for Porto, but would you say he'd come back and get into our first team 11? Probably not. This is the thing. There's no. You can't. You'll struggle to name an academy player in probably the last 10, 15 years that has left and made an impact straight away since he left that wasn't already in our first team.
That's what I was saying earlier. You can go back, if you go back 20 years, 25 years, you look at like the likes of Jimmy Bullard, never played a first team game for West Ham, went on to play the Premier League for Wigan and Fulham. Leon Britton went to play for Swansea in the Premier League. Mm. There's not many others that have ever really gone on.
Yeah. And you look at
of course, there's going to be the exceptions, yeah. But like what Gary says here, under 23s and under 18s both finished second behind Man City. What more do you want from the young players? No, but you don't want anything more from the young players. No. They're doing what they can do. But you go forward in 5 years' time, tell me how many of them under 23s and under 18 players are playing for Manchester City's first team.
But there'll be none. No disrespect to the under 23 league and the under 18 league, but the Premier League is totally different.
Yeah, but there'll be none. One at a push. You know what I mean? We were one of the best youth teams in like 90, 99. Yeah. 97, 98, 99, when the likes of Carrick and Cole were playing. Yeah. Carrick, Cole, Johnson, I think it was, maybe Defoe. Out of that team, 4 got into the first team, which is fucking. You don't really get that, that many players getting into our first team from a youth team like that. Tell me what happened to the others. They won the cup against very good Liverpool sides. Like, you tell me what happened to the like of Lee Hodges and Bertie Brayley and people like that. They were good players. They were really good players. And
Lee Hodges went on to become a Scunthorpe legend.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like Lee Hodges was tipped to be better than Lampard. Never made it. Never quite made it. Lee Hodges is a lovely fella and that, but he didn't quite make it in the Premier League. They had good careers in football, but they never had Premier League careers.
You have to be very special to make it in the Premier League and stay in the Premier League when you're in the youth team. Look at Declan Rice. We could have another 50 to 100 players in that position come through that youth team and will not have a career like Declan Rice.
And we will. And of course there'll be one that slipped through the net, like the Matt Hollands and the Jimmy Bullards and John Terrys and Kieran Richardson and players like that. Of course there's going to be them. But in the whole, they're not wrong. And no team is wrong when it comes to I think the exception is Chelsea. Chelsea let 2 players go from their sort of like academy. I say academy, they did bring them in. Who went on to be the best players in the world. So, it's
a manager has to make that decision, but then the player also has to make that decision. And listen, Alese could have stayed at West Ham. He's probably comfortable there. He knows everyone at the football club. He can train with the first team and play for the under-23s, or he's took the decision to move up north and go and play for Sunderland and try to make it in League One, and then try to push for the Championship. It's a player has to make that decision. And listen, fair play to him. Fair play to him for making that decision. Who knows? In a few years' time, he might come back to West Ham. We've just seen Josh Cullen, who we let go.
Some of these lads have to make this decision. Because
Josh Cullen had to make that decision. Yeah, and now he's back over here with Burnley.
You can be sitting in them like Josh Cullens and people like that. You can be sitting in that fringes of the first team and not getting no game time and getting all this promise until you're 23, 24, and by that time half your career's gone.
Yeah, and that's the difference. I remember Trevor Sinclair said it on TalkSport, where he turned around and said that a player classes himself as a football player now as he gets a pro contract at a football club.
Yeah.
But back in his day, you had to drop down all the way down to Division 4 as it was then and work your way up. And he says you can't really call yourself a player until you've played a load of games, and that's the difference.
I said it the other week, mate. They need to bring something into the game where players up until a certain age can't be represented by an agent. They're just treated by the club. Because agents get in their ear and make them feel like they're the best players in the world, when really they're not. They're average. Look at Reece Oxford. Yes, he had a good game against Arsenal, but then when he started getting fanned out, his agent got in his ear. He wanted to think he demanding 50, 60 grand a week for a 16-year-old. And it went to his head. Yeah. And I know he's doing well now, but as someone said earlier in the chat, it's 5 years later, 6 years later. When you get someone like Declan Rice, who could be demanding exactly what he wants, you don't hear him moaning about money. He might be doing it behind the scene, but he's entitled to do that now. But he's worked hard over the last 3 or 4 years. He's a regular England international. He'll probably go on to captain England. He's going to captain West Ham next season. You see him this week when he come back to training, how buzzing he is to be back at the football club. To me, that don't look like a player that wants to leave. So we know he's going to leave eventually. But, someone like Declan Rice is a rare breed. And look at him. He's being rewarded now.
Yeah, and so there was someone in the comments as well saying Moyes with Rooney. Rooney was a special talent. They could tell Rooney was going to be big when he was coming through their academy. They knew he was going to be something special.
When they see people like that, they put them up in games, like behind closed doors games. They get him in the first team, and Wayne Rooney probably went in that team at 16 and was making season pros look stupid.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly. And that's
like Jack Wilshere was another one when he was 16.
Yeah, that's it. Every so often it is someone pops up in your academy who's that different class, and that's what they're more looking out for, And it's just when you look at academies at the minute, I think our academy's falling behind others. Look at Southampton's academy, the stuff that they've produced over the past few years. We are dropping off a bit. There needs to be something of a change.
I don't believe our academy's falling behind. Yeah. I don't believe that.
Producing quality.
Southampton, but look what we produced before Southampton. Every academy's going to have their moments.
But that's what I'm saying. We've
just produced probably the best centre holding midfielder in the world at the moment.
Yeah, one player and Johnson. That's it.
Who's Southampton done in the last 3 years?
In the last 3 years, I don't know because I don't follow Southampton, but I know they've produced more than what we have in the past.
You just said they've got the best academy in football.
No, I didn't say they've got the best.
You said they've got one of the best academies in football.
No, I said at the minute that what they've produced is better than what we have.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we start 9 of our youth players in the Europa League game?
Yeah, in the dead rubber Europa League game. I'm not saying
we still done it.
Yeah, but I'm not saying we haven't produced. I'm not saying we've produced.
They've produced a lot of talent.
Yeah,
that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, a lot better than what we produced.
Gareth Bale was about 15 years ago. Theo Walcott was about 15 years ago.
Yeah, they've produced a lot of talent, but the same way we've produced a lot of talent.
Yeah, we've had you look in the last 10, 15 years, we've had Jack Collinson, Hines, Stanislas, Tompkins.
There was also a rule, I think. I don't know how closely they follow this now. But I think just about early 2000s was something like a young player can't travel a certain amount of distance to go to to go to a club. So the likes of like Michael Carrick wouldn't have been able to come to West Ham because he lived in Newcastle, and it would have taken, they can't approach players that live so far away or something like that. You know what I mean? It's something like that. So it's pretty much locked to your local area now, which we got known to have one of the best academies in the world. Tony Carr had a big reputation. He's long gone now. It's just I don't think it's the same.
Ian, I'm not sitting there saying that the under 23s are crap, are shit. Right? What I'm trying to get through to is we haven't produced any top quality, barring Declan Rice. We haven't produced any top quality youth team players that have broken into the first team in a long time.
Ben Johnson,
he's not. He's good. He's not superb.
Yeah, Southampton, all right, you can say world class.
This is about Southampton. I'm just fed up with people keep saying this. Oh, you're waffling. Right, the under 23s is a different level to what the first team is.
Yeah, but
if our under 23s were all that good, they'll all be playing in the first team.
Who's world class then that Southampton have produced apart from Gareth Bale?
No, I'm not saying that, right. That's what I'm saying. We haven't produced any top quality apart from Rice and Johnson. We've had a lot more go that have gone on to do nothing or have careers in the La League than what Southampton.
No, Southampton have produced some good players. Yeah. Shaw's a good player.
Would you say he's world class?
I wouldn't say he's world class, no, but he's a good player. Bale, Walcott, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Lallana.
Yeah, but apart from Gareth Bale, are they all world class?
No, I wouldn't say they're not world class. World class is
Oxlade-Chamberlain was at Southampton 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So over the past, you go through every Premier League. Well, we can't sit here and go for every Premier League club now, but tell me who's a breakout youngster at another football club. The reason Southampton produced all these youth players because they had no money and they had to.
Yeah, of course, the same way we used to. It's no different why we used to produce youngsters because we knew we'd go on to sell them on. It's only really, probably what Noble, Tompkins, Rice are only the real ones that have come through and stuck around for now, and Johnson. So I keep forgetting Johnson, but do you know what I mean? It's not most of the academy that we brought through. You go back to that era, like we were saying, when we had the likes of Cole, Carrick, all that Ferdinand. They were brought through to move on, to earn money from. Same as what Southampton did with Lallana, Bow, all that type of thing. They bring these players through to move them on. The problem is now, I think, with us is that we're not producing youngsters to bring into the side to move on. We're trying to bring youngsters through that are going to strengthen the first team. And that's why I think it's such a hard cut-off that they're looking at it, that if, Alese is a good player. But as we saw, someone else said in the comments earlier on, when we only had one fit centre-back, he didn't start.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that.
That tells you a lot. You know, if he was that good and the manager thought he was that good, he throws him in. Let
me just read this. Saka, Smith-Rowe and Nketiah, arguably, I think the only decent player out there is Saka. Smith-Rowe's a good player. Nketiah, 50-50 for me. He doesn't really tick all the boxes for me.
I mean, but people are saying, like, I can see, like, there's a few through Chelsea and, like, Reece, and then you got Saka, Smith-Rowe and Nketiah. I mean, will they go on to be world class? Declan Rice at the moment is head and shoulders above all them.
I think there's potential for some. I think Foden is one.
Phil Foden's different. Phil Foden's one of the best players in Europe. He's a great talent, and he will go on to be one of the best players in the world, I believe. And he's at the right football club. He's got the best manager in the world in Guardiola, or one of the best managers in the world. But yeah, he will go on. He's another one, a rare one.
I think Saka could go on to become a good player. Reece James he could be really special. Mason Mount, not really for me. That's my opinion. You know, people could, talk about, what I judged that on is every time I've seen him play for England, he's been dire. He's been actually diabolical, to be quite honest with you. He's had probably about 2 or 3 good games that I've seen. Smith-Rowe's falling off a little bit. Started well. Bellingham, where did he come from? Birmingham. He could be a world-class player, but world class is a very, very difficult status to achieve.
You are limited to what when you look at world-class players that were probably world-class when they left the club that they broke for their academy. That's really tough to find.
Well, look at Manchester City. They let Sancho slip through their fingers.
Yeah. We said about Rooney earlier on. Rooney, you knew was going to be world class, and he was getting. He probably was for Everton, and then went on and improved as he went up. Rice coming through for us is that level. You do get them, but it's just I just feel now the academy's more built looking for that instead of looking to. When we're short of a right back, well, have we got anyone decent and bring him in and blood him in and like we've done with Johnson. Hopefully this year, like we'll see with Ashby. He's another one who looks good.
Ashby looks decent. Coventry looks decent. I think they'll get a run in the first team.
I think with Coventry, I think he's in the same bracket now as what Cullen was when he left.
I think the difference with Coventry and Cullen, I think Coventry's a better player from what I've seen of him. I like Josh Cullen. Josh Cullen was a really good player, but I just think that Coventry's got something about him, and I think Moyes has noticed that, and I think he's going to keep him in and around the first team, especially during pre-season. And then you never know. One injury to Souček next season could be Coventry's, chance. It only takes one injury for these players to get a chance. Look at Ben Johnson. Look at last season when Soufal got injured. Johnson come in and he was unreal, and he kept Soufal out of the team for a long time. So it's about taking your chance in football, but anyway, we are the Academy of Football, Scott. Don't forget that.
No, I know. I just feel that there's, there needs to be something different. We need to be producing more players. There was a comment. I don't know whether I clicked on it, but he said when we were fighting relegation, the youngsters were good enough to put in. Now we're chasing Europe. They're not.
But don't you think that there's a lot of
when?
This is the comment that's what I'm saying. I was just reading. That was the comment that was.
Don't you think there's a lot of pressure in football now to give a lot of youth players a chance? You might get 1 or 2, but to give 4 or 5 a chance in the first team in the Premier League is rare now. I mean, look, you've got to go back to probably Man United. When they done it, the class of '92, that was, and then when West Ham done it with Cole, Carrick, Lampard, Ferdinand. you know. But that obviously they were different eras, like because
I think for a lot of managers in the Premier League now, I'd say you're probably only 5 or 6 games away from getting a sack.
Oh yeah, of course you are. As much as I I love David Moyes and what he's done at West Ham, you go 5 or 6 games without picking up a win, you're going to start questioning him.
Yeah.
So
that's what the biggest thing that impacts the youth players, I think, is the fact that the pressure that's on Premier League managers to get results. I think
Scott, you go back to the 96, 97, 98 era. You know, Harry Redknapp could go 10 games without a win, but he knew he weren't going to get the sack because there weren't that much pressure back then.
Yeah.
And you can give the likes of Ferdinand, Lampard a chance, and then later on you can give Cole, Carrick, Defoe a chance. So back then they didn't sack you as easy as they do now. So
that's it.
We did give the world Bobby Moore.
Game's changed. That's what I would say. There are some comments. Yeah, take some comments, please.
Matt Super Chat 179. Happy Friday, lads. What's the striker situation?
We'll be discussing that any minute now.
Up Yamas didn't get a promotion. I wanted to work today after 2 interviews, but Friday Night Pint will cheer me up. We are, mate.
You know what, mate? One thing I'd say about that is I went for a job interview a few months ago, and it didn't happen for me, and it was the best thing that ever happened because now I'm in a better place and a better job. So just don't give up. It wasn't meant. There's something better out there for you.
Andy's in the house. It's 2:43 in the morning over in Kuala Lumpur.
Don't forget to bring me some of them Mookie trainers back, and
don't forget to get me. When we get back, we'll have a Chinese.
Tom G says, "Are you seeing the pattern with youth players wanting to leave?" Again, I think it's more to the fact that the players want to play football.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
As we all know, football's a short career. You know, you're either in it, you can be in it for 15, 20 years, or you can be in it for 2 or 3 years. So you just got to take your chances. So I don't blame these players wanting to leave. You know, you can only have 11 players starting a game.
Mm-hmm. So you look at the 3 players that I mentioned there, Diagana, Quinner and Ngakia. All 3 of them have not really set the world alight since they left the club. You know,
to be honest, out of them, probably not so much Diagana, but Ngakia I had high hopes for because I thought he done really well. But then he went to Watford thinking he was going to be the best right back in the world, and I don't even know where he is now. Is he still at Watford?
I think so.
He is.
Yeah, I think he's still there. I trust Moyes, to be honest. He sees a lot more every day. We had Oxford also leave, and he didn't improve massively. I know that wasn't Moyes, but think it's right. Sunderland fan, I think we've paid 500k for a lease, but there's a sell-on clause included. That's smart business by the club if they put that sell-on clause in, because it does, you know, if a player does hit the heights that you want him to, you know, it's
shame they didn't do that with Sebastian Haller.
Well, they should have done it with a few people. At least he's 21. Diop is 25 in the final year of his contract. Has Diop getting a nod over him?
He's a Premier League player.
Yeah, it's the experience. Yeah. Then some fingers crossed. Chester's commentary and Ashby all coming through this year. It'd be nice to see. Nice to see them. You know, Ashby looks like he could improve our side. Ian says Scott is incorrect. Pellegrini gave Johnson his debut away at Man City. Yeah, 21.
But he become a regular.
Yeah.
A real regular after Moyes came.
Yeah, I don't think I said Moyes gave him his debut, though. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. I know. That's why I just thought I'd just say that. I don't think I did. Adam says, how you guys feel about £100 tickets for City? That not affordable football, is it? Something else we can chat about later.
Yeah, we will get into that. There is another ticket pricing been released as well, which is, I don't think it's very good, but you know, I'm not the fucking ticket office, so
no. The Premier League is not known nowadays for producing the quality of homegrown talent. Expect Chelsea really. Premier League is not the league where you can only play 3 non-EU players. Clubs trend to buy from abroad.
Oh, hold on. Let me take this one quickly before you go on to
that one. Go, mate.
Harry Hotspur, who I assume is a Tottenham Hotspur fan. Harry's Declan Rice world class when he's only played for West Ham. Is he too good for West Ham? That's it. You overhype him. He won't be seen as a world-class player and plays for a top club.
But then,
Harry Kane, a world-class player.
Exactly. He's only played for Spurs.
He played for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
He hasn't won anything. He's never fucking took his team and took his team on to win a trophy. He's never done anything like that.
He won the Aldi Cup.
Huh?
Won the Aldi Cup.
Won the Aldi Cup. Yeah. No, I don't mean that as a dig to Harry Kane, because I think Harry Kane is a world-class player, and I think Son's a world-class player. To be quite honest with you, and that's not a dig on them. But you can't say. How can you say that? They play for their country. They play for their country, and he's played in the top, the top competitions in the world. How can you? He played in the European Championship final, and he was best player on the pitch. And he's the best player on the pitch every game he plays, more or less.
Listen, until you watch Declan Rice week in, week out, you'll never appreciate him.
They won't appreciate him. They won't appreciate him. I tell you what, right? Everyone will see what he's like, and I mean this with the greatest of respect to us, our fans as well. Like, they'll realise how good he is when he does play for a Manchester City or a Manchester City. Or a top club like a Real Madrid or something. That's when people realise how good he is.
How did England get on in their last game when Declan Rice didn't play? Lost 4-0 at home to Hungary.
Yeah, sums it all up, doesn't it?
Kane has got multiple golden boots, to be fair to him. That's because he's a fucking striker.
That's good.
But we're not slagging off Kane here. We turned around and said he's a world-class player.
Yeah, he's a world-class player.
But he's only played for Spurs.
And to be fair, Harry Kane wanted to leave Spurs, and he probably still does want to leave Spurs, but no one's going to pay the transfer fee for him. So, look, these other fans, like, we can sit here, like, I'm a fan that can look at other players at other clubs, and I'll say they're world-class. I'm not going to slag them off and say they're shit because they play for another club. I'm not one of them fans, but when these other opposition fans talk about Declan Rice, as I said, I have the privilege to watch Declan Rice week in, week out at West Ham. So I know how good he is. So that's about it. And pundits who know the game know how good he is. The England manager knows how good he is. David Moyes knows how good he is. That's all that matters to me.
Anyone that knows anything about football knows how good he is.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Most of this football fan base are not football fans because they hardly watch football. They just jump on the bandwagon, and they don't watch these players. No. So that's what I'm saying. There's football fans, and there's other football fans, and them other football fans will never appreciate world-class players or talent.
The thing is, mate, like, with all due respect, when it comes to talent, like top talent, we've seen some fucking world-class players come through the West Ham Academy. We've seen some, some of the best in the world. Frank Lampard, one of the best in the world in his position at the time. He come through the West Ham Academy. We watched him grow up. I've seen Rio Ferdinand, who, although he's a fucking dickhead now, he was one of the best in the world in his position at his time. Joe Cole, all right, he never quite made the heights of them two, but he was a top player. Michael Carrick, I think, was a top player. Jermaine Defoe was a top player. I'm telling you now, he's better than any of them at his age. At their age, he's better than any of them.
See, this is
we've seen all of them.
Yeah, and this is the one for this one here. Oh, hang on, I've lost it. Sorry, it's this one. For a player like Roy Keane, with what he achieved in his club career, to say that Rice is better than him at his age, that is one of the biggest compliments you can get, because that type of midfield, that holding midfield, and also doing the box-to-box stuff, Keane was one of the best. One of the best in that era of United when he was playing there, and that is a top compliment from that type of player.
Take the rest of the comments, Scott. Fuck this conversation. I've had enough of this conversation. We have this conversation every week with some fucking.
Well, do you want to move on to the next one? So I've took all the comments that I starred. Apart from this one, with it's all about winning, not results, giving people a chance.
Yeah, I guess.
At the end of the day, it's a results business.
That's it. That's what we were saying about you always 6 games from the sack, so to speak. What do you want to move on to next?
Let's talk about the. It looks like we finally identified and are getting somewhere with a striker, which is Scamacca. I'll be honest with you, don't know much about him. I've been doing a little bit of research. He's all right. He's pretty good. About £36 million, but it looks like, according to all the sources in Italy and the club's president himself, we have made the bid. We have made the bid, and it's progressing. So, could we have a striker in by the end of the week? I fucking hope so.
Yeah,
That'd be a first, wouldn't it?
I'll be honest. I'm the same. I don't really know much about him. I've watched his highlights. I've read a bit about him. You know, he's only young. Was he 20, 22, 23? Yeah, I mean, what is he, about 6 foot? 6'5", isn't he, or something like that?
He's pretty tall, pretty big.
I see a lot of people comparing him, saying that he's going to be another Sebastian Haller, and then there's other people saying that he's going to be great for us. So this is the problem with social media. You know, we don't know nothing about him. There are people out there that pretend they're watching week in, week out. I just want a striker in. And if he's the player that Moyes wants, I know Moyes wants Brozier, and there are talks that we might get both. That will just be...
I think that'd be fantastic. That's fantastic.
And I think it's what we need at the football club, because I watched Antonio the other night, and I think Antonio, if we do get them 2 strikers in, I think you'll see Antonio more out on the wing next season.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. You know, he needs competition for that striker role, but I think if we get a striker in, and I think he'll do a good job out on that wing again. You know, he was a winger beforehand. He's still got a bit of pace about him. He still can, he still causes teams problems. And again, he gives us that directness. Do you know what I mean? We've got the tricky type wingers, but we need I think we said this last week. We need players who are a bit more direct.
I mean, out of the 2, I mean, if I had a choice, I'd probably go more for Brozier, because I've seen more. I've seen a bit more of him, but I'm not against Scamacca coming in, because from what I've seen of him and what a lot of people are saying, like especially like the Italian fans that are on our Twitter and that, they rate him. So he could be another Haller, but then he could turn out to be one of the best strikers we've ever signed in the last 10, 15 years. And that ain't hard. Fuck me.
No.
Some of the strikers we've had at West Ham, especially in the Golden Sullivan era, I mean, it ain't hard to be better than most of them. But look, he's young. If he's hungry and he comes to West Ham for the right reasons, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. We need something. Yeah, we need something. We can't go into the season with just one centre forward, and that being Antonio.
We'll get something.
Yeah, up the Alese says here, Scamacca on permanent and Brozier on loan with an option to buy. I know a lot of people said with Brozier, he died off for Southampton towards the end of the season. But I think when you look at Southampton's form towards the end of the season,
Scott?
Go on.
Southampton didn't bring through their youth.
but Southampton, their form really took a nosedive at times. They were a proper hit and miss side, weren't they? One week they looked unplayable, and the next week they looked awful. And so sometimes it just don't work. But from what we've seen of Brozier, he looks like the sort of forward that plays into Moyes' system.
I said it last week. I said it last week. How many times have we seen Bowen cut in from the left, hit a shot, keeper saves it, it drops in the 6-yard box, and there's no one there to tap it in? Someone like Brozier would be there, ready to tap it in. And that's what we need, like a little fox in the box.
Yeah. But that was a problem, as we said before, when we've got foxes in the box. We took Haller. Haller's gone on to do good things at Ajax, now moved to Germany again. And he's scoring goals. He just didn't suit us. And this is the thing now. This is the hard thing that we've got to find, is that striker that suits the way we play.
Every signing you get is a gamble. They could work out. I mean, look, I'm not comparing Scamacca to Payet, but when Payet signed, no one really knew nothing about him. And look how good he turned out. So every signing that you don't know anything about is a risk. We've had a few gems. We had Lanzini. No one knew Lanzini. He's come in. He's been brilliant for us. But then you have got your shit ones that come in and don't make it. But no, I'm all for it. If we can get both of them in, I think it'll be. And if we need another left back, and if we can get another midfielder in as well, I think it'll be a good transfer window. I really do.
See, this is one of his quality. He's got pace and strength. I think that's what with what we've got, what we've seen with Antonio. What makes Antonio good is the pace that he had and the strength that he's got.
There's another geezer in the chat here saying he's not quick enough.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's opinions on. I mean, I read through Twitter, and some people were saying, "Oh, yeah, he's great" and all that, and then you've got the others saying that he's going to be a shit sign. He's going to be a waste of money. Another Sebastian Haller. But as I said, every signing is a risk, especially when you don't know him. I mean, look, someone's saying he's another Zaza. I mean, fucking hell, he must be bad if he's another Zaza.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's again, it's like what we say with Declan Rice, isn't it? With people saying you don't appreciate him until you see him week in, week out. It's really hard to tell with players, especially in foreign leagues, that we don't get to see every week. Unless you're a massive Italian football fan.
Yeah, but people watch the highlights on YouTube. I'm not being funny on that bit, right? We had a couple of games at Upton Park. You can upload the highlights of me on YouTube, and people will be saying, "Sign me, please." You know what I mean? Like, it's always going to show the best, isn't it? It's never going to show the worst.
The thing is, as well, what you got to remember is both of these strikers are young. Brozia's only 20, and this Scamacca's only 23. So there's a lot of pressure to come in and be your number one striker. But from what I mean, especially Brozia, I mean, he looks like he can handle that sort of pressure. I don't know too much about Scamacca. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I do. So, if he comes in and he hits the ground running, I was excited when we signed Sebastian Haller, because I thought he was going to be that striker that we was looking for. And he had some moments at West Ham, but when you look at his career in a whole, it wasn't great. So we got him out the door, and you never know. He might come in and this Scamacca might be fucking the next best thing, but he might be worse than Haller. So it's always a gamble.
And that's the thing, a lot of people are saying, look at Faubert's YouTube, look at Gokantor's YouTube. It's easy to put highlights of best bits of a player together and make them look world class. And that's the thing. You can't judge by a video, a compiled video, because you're not going to put their worst moments in there. Unless they fall over and.
I've been watching Liverpool highlights on Twitter today, and people have been putting together the highlights of what's his name, Nunes, and they're showing all his misses and like these things like that, and straight away they're on his back. Like, the geezer's just signed for Liverpool. It's what I'm saying. Like, social media now, they're so quick to just jump on the negatives, and all right, he might not be great, but he might go and get 20-30 goals next season. Then what are you going to do at the end of the season? You're going to show his bad bits again? Or are you just going to appreciate what a good player he is?
Yeah. Exactly.
Ashley O'Doherty said, "Why are you nibbling at a Spurs fan for so long?" Because I'm sticking up for my boy.
Ashley, it was probably about 2 minutes, mate, to be fair. So it wasn't that long. We could have gone on for longer. It's a long show. We've got to fill it up somehow.
Matt Powell says the day we sign a striker is when we see a big smile from Nicky.
Do you know what? I'm all right with that business. The only thing that worries me is the amount that we're getting in. I think we need a good amount, and we need nice variety. But I've said this for a few weeks now. I think our transfer business is going along nicely. I don't think.
We said it last week, didn't we? I mean, we've got I don't even really want to talk about him because he bores me. But Jesse TikTok, if he comes, he comes. We have to do our business now, planning without him. And if we do get him, it'd be a nice little bonus. But I think Stuart Pearce was bang on today what he said on the radio. I enjoy listening to Stuart Pearce, what he said about Lingard. And he said, like, Lingard should have been ready on the first day of pre-season to go, not have a summer off. He's had a long time off. He's not played a lot of football. And he said he was brilliant at West Ham at that 6 months. And he was so professional. And he said it's a shame Harry's gone backwards. But, we just have to prepare without him. And if he does come in...
I've heard a few stories today that he's out talking to Wayne Rooney about a transfer to DC United. And, he's gonna be making his mind up on the fucking 22nd of July and all that sort of thing. So he's going to have had a month off. Bearing in mind that the season starts very early August. For me, like, we've all, I loved Lingard when he was here. I really did. But the more I see of him now, the more I see of him fucking piss balling around on TikTok and Instagram and all that. telling, keeping everyone on tenterhooks and all that. And I think he done that a little bit to us at the end of the season when we was going to, when we was looking to sign him after his loan spell. Wouldn't really commit, wouldn't really say yes, wouldn't really say no. He never sort of turned down any I remember. Do you remember the skit with when James Corden? I think it was James Corden or Russell Brand turned up at his door and he was going like, "Don't leave us," blah blah blah, and he was going and all this sort of thing. Like, fuck him. Now,
do you know what? We all say that we don't want him and that. Well, when he bangs the winner and we're all dancing like he's TikTok.
No, do you know what? It's just
I'm the same. I'm over it now. If he signs, he signs. If he don't, he don't. That's it. It don't really bother me now. I think Moyes is preparing, and if we got the more signings we go out and get, if he does sign, it's the harder it's going to be for him to get in the first team. So
that's it. That's the thing. It's a boring thing to talk about with Lingard now because it has dragged on for so long. He comes, he don't, he don't. At the end of the day, you are right. We need to be looking at other targets, getting them through the door, and if he comes, then so be it. But it's, it's not the end of the world.
Jesse is a cryptic clue to his decision. He has thought bubbles above his head as he leaves his house. Yeah, well, fucking get back then and do the fucking hard work that everyone else is doing. That's what I would say.
The one thing Piercy did say is he turned around and said his attitude towards football when he's in the door and he's doing football stuff, his attitude towards football is the right attitude. And he said he was, considering he'd played no football at United before he came to us, practically no football, he was the fittest player.
Yeah.
And that says a lot. I think he's one of them lads that's quite naturally fit as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that, Scott. But he's a good player. But I've heard a couple of I don't want to. I take everything with a pinch of salt. And I've heard a couple of stories about when he was here from a couple of people that I wouldn't distrust. One that has met him personally. And one that's knows people that are around him, and from what I heard, although his attitude was first class, he got on well with all the boys. I really wanted him, and I still take him. I'm just disappointed that he's taken so long to make a decision. As Piercy said today, 1st of fucking July. If he's serious about football, be knocking on the door of the people that want to sign you, and just say like, "Come on, let's listen to these offers because I've got fucking work to do." Not piss, traveling around America, but a lot of, a couple of people that know him believe that he thinks his brand is bigger than West Ham. Do you know what I mean? Like he thinks that he's got this fucking brand, this Jailing's clothing and all of that sort of thing, and he believes that his brand is bigger, and Jesse Lingard's brand as a person, as a player, is bigger than the club. Which is absolute nonsense, you know what I mean? But
the thing is, if he thinks his brand is bigger, then that's absolutely fine because that's his brand. That's what his business is going to be when he comes out of football. So long as it doesn't affect what he does at the football club, and he doesn't think when he's playing on that pitch, he doesn't have to give his all for the shirt.
We're in a different era now because people think that Declan Rice is cringe when he's on his Twitter and Instagram dancing around. It's the world we live in now. But look, for me with Jesse Lingard, signing Downs has sort of got me over Jesse Lingard because I'd rather have someone like Flynn Downs, who's a West Ham fan, going to come in and work hard and want to get in the first team. As I said, Jesse Lingard, for me, if he comes in, he'll be an added bonus, but we've got to prepare without him and just go out there and sign other players.
Yeah, and to be fair, that seems to be what the club's doing.
Because all these people that are saying they don't want Jesse Lingard and that, if he signs tomorrow and he's in a West Ham shirt, they're all going to be loving him. So that's what football's about.
That's it. As I said, at the end of the day, I don't care what he does on his TikTok and all that sort of thing. So long as it's all within the confines of the law and it's all legitimate, score the goals, set up the team, push us on to European football.
I mean, with what some football players are doing outside football, seeing a football lad having a laugh on TikTok and dancing is a lot better than what's going on outside football.
I agree with that. Let me just take this comment. Moda Cooch says, Nicky, have you seen that we've about to bid 25 million for Crispy Bacon? A decent winger with a lot of pace. Yeah, he's there's Lettuce's cousin, I think.
Yeah. Maybe they might sandwich him in the team somehow.
Yeah. bit saucy.
I wish we did sign someone called Crispy Bacon.
That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Remember when Charlton had a defence on one game and it was young fish cost a fortune?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll never forget that.
I'd love to sign someone called Crispy Bacon. I bet it smells good. Look, it's it is what it is. But there's rumblings about other players and all this sort of thing. I think that the transfer window's going all right.
I'm with you,
I,
mate.
I like the look of Downs. I like the look of Areola, obviously, and Acrid, as fucking Dom calls him. I like the look of him as well.
Yeah.
So, I like. Do you know what I love about Downs? I love the way that he's come in, and it seems like Declan Rice has sort of took him under his wing, and that's what I said last week. If Downs will become a better player when he plays with better players, and he'll watch how people like Declan Rice and that conduct themselves on and off the pitch, and for me, I know it was only against Ipswich in a friendly, but I could see there's something about him. He looks like he's going to be one of these players that puts in a few tackles, wants to take a few players on, work for the team up and down the pitch. So it's ironic, really, that Mark Noble, who we know and love, has left the club and he supported West Ham and he gave everything. And now he seems like he's been replaced with a player that loves the club and he can go on and, hopefully have a great career at West Ham. And as I said, playing with players like Declan Rice and Souček as well in that centre mid, he's only going to get better.
Yeah, I think he's going to be like a Monker.
Yeah. I had a chat Sunday.
5 minutes.
I had a chat on Sunday with a Swansea fan about him, and they are really gutted that he's gone. And one thing he did say to me, he's got a very fiery temper. And he said he needs to curb that, otherwise he'll get sent off a lot more for us than he did for Swansea, especially being in the Premier League.
But sometimes, Scott, you need that in your team. Last season did I say about Declan Rice? Yeah. I would love Declan Rice to be a bit more like that. And he obviously listened to me, because from then he was going nuts. He was shouting at refs and fucking calling them this, that, and the other, wanting to fight everyone. But
that's the one thing he said. He said he's a great player. He's a good lad. They're gutted. He's gone. And as he said, it's just that he's got that fiery temper.
That could be the combination you need in midfield: a Rolls Royce and a banger.
Yeah.
Don't mind taking the knocks and getting stuck in. So, brum brum. And you got your potato salad in the boot.
We're going to ask us anything. I did see a few questions in the chat, but we're going to ask us anything in a minute. We've got to move on, I think, to... hold on a minute. Do we have any comments about this one?
Ticket.
Is this about you're on about this one, Nick?
Yes.
And then do you want me to cover the next one as well, so we can sort of tie it in together?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. The Conference League pricing for the qualifying round, and how do you guys feel about £100 tickets for Man City?
This is what I think about the Man City ones, right? And I will let you have your say. Obviously, I'm not going to go off on a tangent, but I think them Manchester City tickets are priced, right? And this might be a bit controversial, not for West Ham fans. That is priced for people to come in off the street who are, in town, maybe over from abroad, who think fucking hell, Man City are in town, and there's Erling Haaland, there's Pep Guardiola. That's what I think that is priced for. Give me your opinion, because I could go off on.
I understand what you're saying, and I sort of agree with it. That pricing's ridiculous. But people pay it, and that's the problem. People will pay it, and they're going to do that. As you said, them prices are only for the likes of, because it's Man City, it's Haaland's debut, and you will get people like Man City fans who live in London and the tourists come in. But yeah, it's ridiculous. If you're a family of, if you're a dad taking your 2 kids to the game, you're it's gonna be an expensive day. That's without the £100 hot dogs and the £600 beer and everyone wants a football shirt. And no, joking aside, it's ridiculous. And I was a bit embarrassed when I see it. But other clubs do it. I know Man United charged. They was charging 120 quid for a ticket for Southampton at home last season. Because I remember someone at my work wanted to go, and I couldn't believe it that I was actually seeing that. So other clubs do it, but I don't really want to see West Ham going down that route. But as long as people are still paying the money, they're going to put that up. I mean, it don't affect us because we're season ticket holders.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's the
and
problem.
this is what the comment here. Only the top price seats of Fulham have just been asked £100 a ticket as well. When there was a bit of a debate on Talksport.
Yeah, but with Fulham, you get your own butler and a cheese platter every game. So
yeah, there was a bit of debate going on with Simon Jordan and a guy from the Fulham podcast. And
hang on, Simon Jordan having a debate?
Yeah.
No,
and this is the thing. And I think the guy that does Fulham podcast said it. He said Fulham don't fill their stadium all the time. He said Brighton on a Tuesday night at home when they were last in the Premier League, they didn't fill the stadium. Man United at home on a Saturday, they fill the stadium. That type of thing. And that's what it is. Them prices of tickets are because the club know that if a West Ham fan won't play it, some tourist who wants to see, like you said, Haaland, like you said,
you have got a little bit of a dangerous situation now with the clubs, the way the world is at the minute, because we've complained about these prices before, but you're looking into but bear in mind that West Ham is in a very working class area. If they want to attract the fans and the future fans and get their fans to the stadium, which I don't believe it is, I believe it's more to the day tripper, but. We're in a situation now where people are having to choose between things. Choose between some people having to choose between heating and lighting and fucking and heating and eating and things like that. You know what I mean? Like it's the world's going out of control at the minute. Now, when you look into football, where money just is no object, and everything that they do is just piled on, and especially in England as well. There is countries where the package and what's the business plan is not to stick everything on the fans. It's to charge sponsors more and all of this sort of thing. But in England, they've got no, £100 a ticket is disgusting. No matter what, no matter what walk of life you're from, £100 is a lot of money for a single ticket. And as Ryan said, as you take the family there, it costs a lot of money. And I think there's going to be a choice for some people this season. You know what I mean? I'm sure that, I don't know the numbers. Obviously, I don't know anybody. I haven't spoke to anybody. I haven't been back to the football just yet. But there's going to be people this year that, don't turn up for their season tickets because they just couldn't afford it. The world is inflation mad at the minute. The government are having to roll out, emergency funds for people. It's, it's getting serious. And when it gets serious, this football world, this bubble where and I've been saying this for a long time, it's on the verge of bursting, this bubble. They can't keep on passing on the cost to the fan. These transfer fees and things like that, playing average players fucking 200, 300, 400, 500 grand a week. And, the Premier League has driven us to this, and it's going to come to, you look at the Barcelona situation. Barcelona are out there fucking flaunting their money like it's their last day on earth. They've just signed deals to be able to get these transfers over the line, which, let's be fair, Rafinha is a good player. He's a decent player. He'll do decent for them, but he's not exactly Lionel Messi or Iniesta or Xavi. You know what I mean? He's a good player that'll do well for them. And they've basically signed off the future of their club. They're going to go bankrupt. They're going to go bankrupt for the next 25 years. They earn €1 in every 5 that they earn.
The funny thing is with Barcelona is they just pay 55 million for Rafinha, but they can't pay De Jong 17 million that they owe him.
They owe him, yeah.
But that shows the corruption in that football club, in that type of in La Liga and also in UEFA, that they're allowed to get away with it.
Yeah, but long term, short term, yeah, they're okay for the minute. But long term, when they haven't paid players' wages, and I think it's they've signed away the future of their football club, and unfortunately, Barcelona have been around for a long time. 1899 that they got formed. You know what I mean? 1899, and they've basically signed a death warrant on their on their club, an institution, something that's embedded in their community. I tell you something now. There's no prouder people than Catalonian people when it comes to Barcelona and all of that sort of thing. And they've basically signed away that for to try and keep their brand alive now, to try and to feed the people and to make the people that are there rich now. Yeah, they've signed away that they've given Barcelona a death warrant. They'll be dead. They'll be dead in 10 years. They'll be completely out of business.
I don't even think it'd be 10 years if I'm honest.
No, I don't think it will be either, right? But I'm just saying, 10 years down the line, there will be no such thing as FC Barcelona as we know it. There might be a breakaway club and something
Barcelona FC.
But they're putting they're putting all their eggs in one basket, so to speak. That there's going to be
their eggs are in the Super League,
and they're still under the belief that that's going to happen.
Yeah,
they still think it's going to happen, and that's why they're doing.
I think they might be right.
It probably will happen, but I don't think it'll happen with English clubs anymore. I think it'll be more at the German teams and the French teams and the Spanish and Italian teams.
I don't think the German teams will allow it, right?
No.
German fans would.
German clubs are fan owned, didn't they?
Yeah.
So
that's it, and that's the thing, and it is it is hard. There was a comment. Is when I start. Look. CC said, my train ticket for the Man City game is 70 quid with a senior rail card discount. I know I put Lisa's comment up earlier where she said, football tickets are cheaper than concert tickets. The thing with a concert ticket is it's a one-off. With a West Ham, all right, and you could say maybe if you're a season ticket holder, you get the perks and you don't pay them prices. But
I'm telling you now, though, Lisa would go and see Robbie Williams 38 times in a year.
No, that's the thing. It's but
O'Reilly Mers.
I think with them tickets, what it does is you're pricing the fans that their season ticket holders who had to give up their season ticket for work reasons, family reasons, and they may go 4 or 5 times a season to a game.
My father-in-law gave up his season ticket. He was in the Club 66 and he gave up his season ticket. And he said he's just going to go every now and again this season.
Yeah. But you think the cheapest priced adult ticket was what, 200 and something? If he wanted to go 2 games and then 2 games happened to be City and Chelsea, for argument's sake, he's going to pay nigh on a season ticket. That's the mad thing about it.
I think most people you're going to pay that. So unless someone that ain't going to a game, you can have their season ticket on the sly and give them a bullseye or something like that. That's cheap enough. But I think it's ridiculous. And then you add obviously they're selling tickets for the European game already, and we don't even know who we've got.
Yeah, the pricing come out for them as well, and that ain't much prettier.
It's 20 quid, wasn't it?
No, it goes from 20 for the band 6 up to 55, 60.
The thing is, though, the club done really well last season when they done the group games, 3 games I paid 75 quid for 3 games. So 25 quid a ticket. That's good. But I haven't really looked into what the club put up about the European tickets today, but I know there was a lot of people saying that, look, why are they doing it already when they don't know what they got? But they done it last season. They done it when we didn't even know who we was going to play in the quarterfinal. They was already selling tickets.
Yeah.
But as fans, we moaned, but what did we do? Logged on and got our ticket because that's what we do. And that's what they know. And that's the thing with football fans is that we will always do it. Us as a country, you see other countries, they protest not only over football, but they protest over the fuel prices and other things, and it gets done. Over here, we just accept it, and maybe that's our problem. Maybe that is our problem. Maybe that's just our culture, that we just accept it because they know we are going to pay. And that's the sad thing.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? And that's I've been saying this. I've been banging on this door for fucking many years, mate. That there should be more done, and there should be, more sort of independent bodies and fan-led things to, these clubs. I don't mean to be rude, but these.
But other fans that thought they were more important started getting rid of the proper fans on the board and just wanted to make it their little fucking social club. That's the problem there. So yeah, that's never gonna happen. So
that is the problem with West Ham as a club, and I say this from experience, is that there's too much of a fractured fan base in terms of, like, you know, there's people that are in influential positions that don't want people sort of pissing on their parade and getting involved in their little sandwich club. And that's been the case for many, many years. And that's what happened, like, without going into it, it's what happened to our mate Nick, who was on there, that is the voice of the true working class fan. And he was quickly handed out by, people that didn't want people like that, because, as I say, they nod along, they eat the sandwiches and they drink the drinks, and they can go and tell everyone that they are on the West Ham supporters board or whatever. Too many people like that, and like, why, very early doors, I went in for, I put my name forward for things like that, and it's very quickly why I withdrew it, because one, I give up, me and Ryan actually give up a lot of our time to go and discuss things with the club, to try and make things better. And what did we get? One, and I've never asked for this, we didn't even get the fucking credit for the stuff we did fucking get sorted out. A lot of the stuff at the stadium now, like even down to the things like the fucking, like, squaring off the fucking stands and all that, they was put forward by us a long time ago, and they was looking into it. We didn't even get the credit for that.
The interior, the exterior,
exterior, a lot of, in fact, right, a lot of the stuff that you see now, like even down to the fucking claret fucking carpet, which you might take the piss out of, but it was all stuff that we personally recommended them do, and they writ it all down.
There was other people in the meeting as well.
But a lot of the voice, let's be honest, right? A lot of the fucking voice was coming from our table. But
and Dave Walker as well.
Dave Walker, he was a big voice in there as well, and a lot of the stuff. And but what happened, right? Because they couldn't implement this stuff. Like, there is no person out there that can't tell me now that this London Stadium experience, and I'm not talking about whether it's good or not. I still don't think it's good enough. But the London Stadium experience that you experience now is a lot fucking better than the London Stadium experience when we first moved there, right? And this come down to a lot of people that give a lot of their time to go and do this and talk about this and give them suggestions and things like that. And what did we do? Because, like, nothing changed, like, in an instant. We got fucking laughed at for getting beer shelves up.
Well, I'm not being funny. I was just about to say that I'm still upset that I even have the beer shelf in 229 named after me, because we did put that forward, the beer shelf.
Yeah.
But no, look, joking aside, what Nicky's saying is right. You look at the stadium now, when you walk up to it and when you go in there, it looks a lot more West Ham than it did when we first moved in there, when it was green carpet and the outside was plain. And you go around the stadium now and they've got the pictures on the wall of all the players, like ex-players, and the interior as well. And you've got the statue there now. It was never going to all happen overnight. It might take 10 years for that to look a lot better. But I know that they've got plans, as Nicky said, to square it off next season. And if it looks better, it looks better. It's better for us as a match day experience.
Yeah, but we didn't get that. We didn't get the credit. We got fucking laughed at, which is fine. And I've never. No, and that's what I've always said. I've never sat there fucking whinging and moaning about it when they was crediting this supporters board that come in, that the first thing they wanted to talk about when they got on the board of directors was fucking cigarettes.
No,
and Wi-Fi and where they're going to buy their burgers from. Like, there was no like, and I know there was some good people in there, like my mate Nick, but as soon as they got on there, they fucking slung them off. And that's the thing about West Ham. There's too many people that don't like the working class fan, that see us all as these fucking racist, bigoted fucking people. Like, and it's not the case. And they just want to keep that little fucking billionaires boy club to themselves. And they can go stick out their arse, as far as I'm concerned.
Billionaires boy club, and they ain't got a tenner between them.
No, look. This is what I'm
Hang
saying. Here's your pat on the back. I'm going back 5 years, 6 years. I've never mentioned this before. Never. I don't want a pat on the back. Never wanted a pat on the back. It was never about a pat on the back. Yeah, but I'm just trying to explain to you how things got to the point that they are and why it will never work. Because as soon as there's someone comes in that wants to do something for the football and they want to make the fan experience better, some prick that's already there that's a little yes man, no man that that feels his position's threatened goes and tries to dig up all sorts of shit on them and drag them through the fucking mud. And there's too many people like that. There's too many people that fucking have stabbed each other in the fucking back. And I won't go into the ins and outs of it, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But there's too many people that have stabbed each other in the back over being able to say, I'm the big I am. And that's it. And that's why it never worked. That's why people like me and these boys will never get involved in that sort of shit again. There's too many fucking snakes and rats out there that that have had it all good for too long, that will never let you in their little club, that don't want to make it better, that just want to fucking sit there pandering, taking favours from the powers that be, and that's the way it is. And you'll never change it because there's not enough people that want to pull in the same direction.
I only wanted a sandwich.
Well, I had a couple of sandwiches.
Fucking right.
I've always stuck to my guns. Always stuck to my principle.
I always remember that first meeting when Brady was just rambling on about something, and I remember looking over and Dave Walker was going, "Oh, these are all fucking lovely crisps," and he was just eating the crisps. I'll never forget that. It fucking cracked me up. But yeah, look, you had fans in there, real fans, and then as Nicky said, you had the fans that just wanna pretend that there's something that they're not. I think I've always said, as much as I love doing this channel, if this channel finished tomorrow, I'll still be going home and away. I'll still be a season ticket holder. I've done it since I was a kid. I'm 38 now. You know what I mean? I'll still be doing it for years. I can walk to that London stadium on a match day with me head held high, knowing that I'm going there to support my football team, not to go in the corporate box and fucking with a free ticket and get a favour because you've fucking sucked Sullivan off. Well, it's true. Listen, I don't give a shit. I don't hold back. I don't care who I upset. I've upset a lot of people over the years. That's just how it is. At the end of the day.
Yeah. Talking about ticket prices, we still do kids for £1, but it's more for the League Cup games or the FA Cup games. It's not really. There's not many Premier League games.
It's for £35 now, and that's as low it goes.
Do you want to move into us? They
do kids for £1, Scott, but a £40 booking fee.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst things for me is that poxy booking fee. Even for your season tickets, they're charging you a booking fee.
£2. I don't even know where they get the £2 from. Yeah. They don't even do nothing. They send it to your phone. They don't even print off anything. They charge you £2.
I think what it is that pays because it's all done by Ticketmaster. So I think that's what it's for. It's Ticketmaster.
Yeah, but fuck me, that never fucking works. I don't mind if they had a website that fucking was decent and you could fucking actually.
I'll say this: I've never touched wood. I've never had an issue with a ticket site.
You must be one of about 10 people, I reckon.
Yeah, because you log on with 1 minute to go.
No.
Logging on.
Do you know what? Right, I'm going to defend Nicky a little bit, right? Because
what do you mean?
Was it the game against Frankfurt or the one before where we could get 2 extra tickets? Seville. Me, you, and Graham were all on now, and you two were in front of me in the queue, and I ended up getting the tickets, and you two didn't.
Yeah, they slung us off.
Yeah, because they know who you are. Fuck that. They don't want that miserable git there moaning. Stupid fan cams outside.
I was trying to get Graham a ticket, weren't I? And he was logged on, I was logged on, and Nicky was logged on, and I was the only one that got through.
I remember last year, I can't remember what game it was, and I remember logging on and just like within a minute and a half, I had the confirmation in my emails. It was so quick, and then Nicky's just moaning. I'm like, "What's going on?" Like,
I don't know.
Do you know what? Right, I forgot about this. remember the program I got for the Seville? Yeah, I've got it. I actually forgot about it because it's up. I got it. It literally come a few weeks before I went away, so I just chucked it away. But they sent it, and I was a bit disappointed because like it was only signed by about 5 players, and like I don't even know who's who on there. But they give me a Kurt Zuma signed card as well.
Card?
Yeah, like them the Premier League card.
You know what it is? Do you know what it is, mate?
Oh,
they didn't get it signed before the summer.
No. This was well before the summer. This was before the end of the season. I got it.
Oh, really?
And
all right, fair.
And another thing they sent me as well, and I've got it to give to you for Jamie. It's quite nice, really. It's a signed Lucas Fabianski.
He'll love that
because I know he loves goalkeepers. So yeah, he can have that. But no, look, it was free anyway, so I can't really moan. But I wanted it signed by even if it was signed by the team that night, because all the players were still at the club at the time. But yeah, it was free. I can't moan, can I? It was free. I got my name up on the scoreboard on Tweet That Goal, so that's my moment in the stars, in the lights. Come on, you Irons.
Do you want to go ask us anything?
Yeah.
All right. Well, while we wait for other questions to come in, there's a couple. I know you marked this one, Nick. I think it was you or Ryan. Adam Traore for 10 million.
All day long.
That we're linked with him. He's got a year left for 10 million, mate. I'd snap him up. I'd go and pick him up myself. I think I'll actually put a little bit of money, not much, but about 100 quid towards that if we can. Let's have a whip.
I love I love players like him. Honestly, I love players like him.
Because he's one of them unpredictable players. A bit like Antonio when he was a few years ago.
Yeah.
He just gets his head down and he runs. And as we said, if he gets an end product, he can be a top player. And I'd definitely take him for 10 million.
Yeah, I think it's a bargain. He's played in the Premier League before. He's a lot like Antonio. He's big, he's strong. I
think he's Antonio 2.0, to be honest.
Yeah. He just needs to work on his finishing a lot like Antonio did. And with what Moyes' record he's done with players like Arnautovic and what he's done with Antonio, turning him into that striker, I think it's a good move, very good move. If we can get that deal done, plus get another striker, and a couple of loans, that's a bloody good transfer window.
He can't shot.
Yeah, no. Do you know what? He is right. It's his end product that lets him down a bit.
Yeah.
But when he's on that ball, when he just knocks it past players, not many people can catch him, and he greases himself up as well. So people try to pull him back, they just slip off of him. So something different option coming off the bench or even starting.
Put it this way: for a player that can't shoot, he caused us a hell of a lot of problems when he played against us.
Just the people like him cause problems.
Yeah.
They might not be the best finishers. Antonio weren't the best finisher.
No.
But he caused a fucking lot of problems, and I think he would be this.
Did you see his the other night against Ipswich when he went through 1-on-1? And it's sort of like his legs give up. And he's just like, I was thinking to myself, oh, fucking hell. I'll let him off his pre-season.
10 million, mate. Fucking hell. If you can get him for 10 mil, I'd have him all day long. Matt Powell says, what do you think of rumoured third kit, which is orange and white? Going by what I've seen, I don't fucking hold much hope, to be honest.
Fucking. I'm hoping the third one.
Do you know what though? I wonder if this rumoured orange and white kit, third kit, may have been the goalkeeper's kit.
Could be.
That somebody's seen.
Someone said, Ryan, did you get any street meat in New York? Yeah, I did. In New York, they obviously have loads of different food carts on every corner, and I did. There was a couple of times that I did get some street meat, but it was very nice, very nice. Can't beat a bit of street meat.
Fucking street meat.
Someone else asked, what did I get up to in New York? I've done quite a lot, but the best thing I've done was jet skiing around the Hudson. That was absolutely beautiful. What an adrenaline rush that is, man, when you're just hitting them waves going boom, boom. Especially because I was up front with the leader and the guide, and we had to stop at one point because 2 ferries went past. So as they went past, we spun off, but we was catching them waves. So we was like hitting the waves and just going boom, boom.
We should have given him. Do you know what we should have done before he went? We should have given him New York bingo. Like you have to tick off all these.
Quite a lot. Like I walked. Like I remember we went down to the trade centre one day, and instead of getting the train, we got the train down there. But instead of getting the train back, we thought, do you know what? We'll walk back to. And it took about an hour and a half. But I think I prefer walking in places like New York, because when you're on them tour buses, you go past places and you think, oh, you can't get off. But when you're walking, you can just go in and out wherever you want. And I loved it.
Did you see the Avengers anywhere? The Avengers. Did you see the Avengers? I guarantee you see people dressed up as the Avengers.
They was in Applebee's.
Oh, there you go.
No, listen. The funny thing was you got in Times Square. They always have these people that are dressed up as like Disney characters and Spider-Man and things like that, and they're the moodiest looking people, like costumes I've ever seen. And then we went to this bar and we see them outside the bar, and they had their like their what they called the masks off and that, and they're all counting up their money, and it's just funny. But one of them was dressed up as who's the blue one from Sesame Street?
Oscar.
Yeah, and he had dick eyes. Like he had one eye there and one eye there. They weren't even looking right. And I was thinking to myself, come on. And I was like, if you're gonna do it proper. But no, it was good. It's a different experience out there.
Do you know what? When I was a kid, when we was kids,
Cookie Monster, that's it.
Cookie Monster, that's it. Me and you used to go up to Leicester Square quite a lot, didn't we? And we used to see people doing like that. I don't know if he's getting it anymore. I haven't noticed.
Remember that time when we went up to Trafalgar Square and you threw all the pigeon seeds over me and all the pigeons started.
Yeah. But we used to do it quite a lot. I used to do it, but we went up Leicester Square. It must have been about 99, I reckon, because I remember a few people dressed up like the Phantom Menace. What was it? The Darth Maul, which was the big film at the time. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of like these street performers, and there was a man just stood in a flower pot, and like I remember just saying to him like, "What's the point in this?" Like, because what I asked him is probably a bit ignorant, but I was only a kid. I said, "What do you do? If I give you a quid, what are you going to do?" He goes, "I ain't doing nothing,
mate.
I'm just being." Do you remember that, right?
When I was in Vegas the other year, I remember walking across the bridge, and there was a bloke in a plant pot as a bush, and he was jumping out on people.
Oh.
And he didn't jump out on me because he jumped out on the people just in front of me. But fuck me, did they shit themselves? But it was fucking hilarious, and I stood there and watched him. And the people walking past, he's just like in a plant pot, dressed up as a bush. And then if you go on YouTube, you'll see it. Right? I think it's called Bushman or something like that. But it's fucking hilarious.
But it was just a man with a bit of makeup on, stood in a pot plant, and I said to him, "I'll give you £1. What are you going to do?" Right? And he went, "I'm not going to do nothing." He was like it looks like one of these geezers that you're going to see at these fucking climate change rallies now. You know what I mean? Like doing the street art in the middle of the road. That's what he looked like. And because there was people that used to like be still, and then if you put £1 in the thing, they'd do a little move. You know what I mean? And I was just asking, "What are you going to do if I put £1?" "I'm going to do nothing." And then they got the right arm. They started rallying around him. Do you remember that, Ryan? Yeah.
Do you know what I like? I like the ones that look like they're floating. I know how they do it, but it still amazes me how they do it. Like there
must still be some. Like that must be fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, definitely. But
it must be fucking uncomfortable the way they're sort of like the setup for that is. But hey, there you go. Take some more, and then we're going to start finishing up.
Jay Wood says, "Do you think Ajir would start the first game of the season?"
Who, Scott? Who'd start?
Ajir.
What's the new striker's name we're going to sign, Scott? What's his name?
It definitely ain't Sambuca.
Just before we came on air, Scott said to me, "What's the title?" "Oh yeah, there it is. We're going to sign Sambuca." I said, "Who the fuck's Sambuca?"
Right, yeah. So back to the question: do you think he'll start the first game?
It depends how he gets on in pre-season. You know, it's him, and he looks a decent player from what I've seen of him so far. He's taken to the club players are getting on well with him. It just depends because Dawson never done nothing wrong towards the end of the last season, but you got to move on and you know, them two, him and Zuma at the back, might be a good pairing.
It was good to see Oggy back as well the other night, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Really good to see him back.
But someone put this comment out, right? I was in London Dungeon as a geezer dressed like Jack the Ripper jumped there wearing white Reebok Classic. It always reminds me of that time I went to this place in it was up in like Trocadero way, and it was called Passage de Terror. And I went to see Michael Jackson Thriller, the musical. And as I come out, they was giving out cheap tickets for this place. And it's like a maze. You walk round and people jump out on you and they're dressed like The Exorcist and Freddy Krueger and all that. And it is jumpy because you're in the dark. But I just remember the last bit because it was Jason with a chainsaw. And he comes chasing after
Leatherface it was.
Yeah, and he comes running after you, and you obviously run because you know it's not real and he ain't going to cut you, but you shit yourself anyway. And as you run out the door, you run into a bar, and people obviously know you're going to come running out, so they're all standing there looking at you. And I remember sprinting out into this bar, and I tried to play it cool trig, and I sort of walked up to the bar and went, 2 beers, please, mate. And I was like, pretending I were, but it's just the way I sort of sprinted out, knew what was going on, then just sort of glided to the bar like play it cool trig, and just. Them places, like you know, they're not real, like the London Dungeons and things.
Yeah,
like that.
I remember them places. I remember going to one. We went on a few. I used to love the Trocadero when I was a kid, man. That's all gone now.
I went to Madame Tussauds years ago, and I remember like there's a bit at the end, like a ride when you get in a lift, and obviously you're so used to walking around seeing all the wax models. I got in this lift, and I thought it was a wax model, and as he shut the door, he went hello like that, and he fucking hell, mate, like. Proper shit myself, but I love things like that though. I love jumping out on people. So when people do it to me, it's that little adrenaline, like fucking hell. But I do like all that.
It's good fun. It's good fun. Ken wants to know if anyone's going to Rangers or Luton.
I don't think so.
Nah, I can't obviously work because I just started a new job. My holidays are limited at the moment, so no, I won't be going to Rangers or Luton. But it's a shame because I've always wanted to go to Ibrox and chance to see West Ham play there, but unfortunately it's on a Tuesday. So, but hopefully, I know Ironworks Tours are doing a night out up there, and I think they put it up like it's like £2 for a beer and a spirit and a mix is like $2.50. So I'm like, fucking hell, like, show.
That'd have been a good night out for a score, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you know what I mean. So.
Lewis Tucker wants to know favourite Muppet from Sesame Street / the Muppets.
I used to like the Muppet Babies.
Yeah, that was a good cartoon, that one.
I'll be honest, I didn't really watch like the Muppets or Sesame Street when I was growing up. It wasn't really. I remember it, but it wasn't something that I ever used to watch. So I'd probably have to say Kermit. Journey's.
I like the little
fingers smell of bacon.
Huh?
Do you reckon Kermit's fingers smell of bacon?
Yeah, definitely do.
Saying that though, I remember going to see the Muppets thing in America, and I remember the two old geezers that used to sit in the thing in the box moaning all the time.
I swear them two are what the two old boys in Coming to America. No, not Coming to America. Trading Places are based on.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, they were coming to America as well.
Yeah.
I used to like the dog Ralph, who used to play piano.
Weren't there one in a bin as well? Or was that Sesame Street?
That was Sesame Street. That was
Grouch.
Grouch, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Good shows they were. Muppets still are when they're on.
You two watched? This is my question to you two. Have you two watched Stranger Things yet?
Nope. I've seen episode 1 of the first season. That's it.
What?
Yeah, I've watched it.
I can't.
I watched them when they come out.
Getting time to watch it. Can't watch it around the youngsters.
I was pissed off. If I'm honest.
So was I.
I was very pissed off. I won't. Obviously, there's probably people watching this that ain't seen it yet, so I don't want to spoil it. But Kate Bush done well out of it.
Fucking yeah, did she?
And I think maybe Metallica might do well out of it as well.
Well, Metallica done all right anyway, I think. But
Oh yeah, they don't need the money, but yeah, it was good. It was good. It was a lot darker than the original ones, but
yeah, that's what I've heard.
I liked it up to the last two.
I'll let you know. I'm watching. What's one I'm watching at the minute? What's it with? It's got Chris Pratt in it. The Terminal List.
Jurassic Park.
Get a chance to watch that. That's worth a watch.
I finished The Boys. You've got to watch that.
Paul was saying if Brian was pissed off, there's no point in watching. No, definitely watch it. I was just, if you watch it, you'll understand why I was pissed off, because of the ending. Like it's
good. It's good.
It's good, but you just got to like wait another 2 years.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, like The Boys is the best I think I've seen on telly lately, man. It is unreal. Have you seen it, Scott?
I've seen season 1. I'm just starting season 2.
Mate, I'll tell you what, mate. Some of the fucking things that these fuckers get up to is unbelievable. I'll give you like one example, right, of how crazy this program is. Yeah. So in season 3, yeah, and you ain't got here yet, Scott, but you know what I'm talking about when you get here, right? There's a guy. He's like a superhero, and he's, you know, they're adored by everyone. And he can go really, really tiny, like Ant-Man, yeah, or really, really fucking big, yeah, like the size of an house, yeah. He's like got that ability, like Ant-Man, yeah. So he's a gay man, yeah. So he's in this fucking exhibition doing all of this sort of thing, but it's a party. He's showing off. He's got to be naked to do this thing, obviously, because he's got no fucking clothes. And he goes backstage with his boyfriend, and he starts doing cocaine, yeah, with his boyfriend, and they're kissing and all of this sort of thing, and it's getting a bit hot and heavy, and they're doing blow, and it's making him like sneeze and all that sort of thing. And his boyfriend says to him, they're just about to make love, obviously. He goes to him, "I want you inside me," right?
Oh no!
So he goes tiny, yeah. And you think he's going to go up his bum. He doesn't. He goes his dick. Yeah.
Oh.
He goes inside his dick, and he starts like in his little pee hole. He starts like pressing the sides and trying to get to the bits where, you know, where it feels good. His boyfriend's doing like this, right? All of a sudden he sneezes and he goes big, and his sneezer just goes.
See, that's why I don't watch things like that.
I tell you, mate. It's just you know, it's just shocking.
Yeah,
the whole thing is just like, but it is like, if you think about superheroes being real people, you'd think, yeah, that's exactly what they're going to be like. It's exactly what they would be like. It's brilliant.
It is. The first season I got is brilliant. It is really good, and it is. If you think of how people are in real life, there's going to be, if people are like superheroes like that, they do some messed up stuff.
Yeah, I might give that one a swerve. To be fair, they talk about it in work, so. But
it's honestly right. It's good.
I meant to say earlier that I see that Paul Ryder died today, didn't he? From Happy Mondays.
Did he?
Yeah, 58 really? He was.
I never knew that.
No. Yeah, it was only like a few hours ago that I see it.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, it was only 58. Mental, innit?
They've had some life, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm surprised some of them made it to 58.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
that is really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you like the Happy Mondays.
I always loved the Happy Mondays. Seen the Happy Mondays a few times.
Yeah, I like the Happy Mondays. But yeah, on that note. Anyway.
Yeah.
That brought us down a bit, didn't it?
How many mini superheroes can you get up your arsehole?
A long one and a short one. Okay. Are we ready to wrap it up, boys?
Yeah, I need a shower. My back's sweating. Looking forward to England tomorrow morning. The rugby play Australia 11 o'clock. What are you laughing at?
This question quickly.
What cartoon do you fancy?
We've all had one. Come on.
Oh, Jessica Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit is the ultimate cartoon.
I think we
female.
can agree.
Yeah.
Jessica Rabbit, and when I was younger, Patty Mayonnaise.
Patty Mayonnaise.
Do you know what?
When I was little, when I was a kid, probably younger than Jamie, I used to like Inspector Gadget nieces.
Nah, Penny, I used to hate her. She used to wind me up.
No, I used to like her. I used to think, oh yeah.
Fucking moaning. Like
She was
Lisa
always
Simpson
whinging.
always moaning as well.
And the Cadbury's Caramel Bunny, Scott?
Cadbury's Caramel Bunny.
Yeah.
Don't remember that one.
You don't remember the Cadbury's Caramel Bunny?
No.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, Marge Simpson was a bit of a MILF.
I'll have to have a look. I'll look out for that one.
The granny out of Tom and Jerry.
Daphne and who was the other one in Scooby Doo?
Thelma.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
someone put Barney Rubbles. Stevie C says Barney Rubbles, Mrs.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I always remember that scene in Men Behaving Badly when they had that conversation over a beer, whether she wears knickers or not. And I think that's just like a typical bloke, isn't it? Typical bloke that talk in the pub about shit like that.
Right,
yeah, someone Matt down Fiona from Shrek, but is that before or after she turns into an ogre?
I hope after, but anyway, thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint. There wasn't a Hammer It Out this week. The studio was unavailable. Our producers in Kuala Lumpur buying us all moody trainers, but I'm going to try and do something at Reading tomorrow to get some a tiny podcast up until the next episode. We're going to start getting some guests on. Scott, are you up for it?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, you give me a shout.
Coming up on Hammer It Out?
Yeah, I'll come along.
Yeah? You sort your haircut out first, though.
Just need from your haircut.
Well, you're about 3 away from being like me. That's what's wrong with it.
Hey, I'm still holding on, mate. Still holding on.
Yeah. So we're going to start getting a little few guests on and things like that. So we'll get you in, Scott. If you're up for it one Tuesday, let us know.
Yeah, I'm up for it. Just let me know when you want me and I'll book it in.
No problem at all.
I hope Graham's over on football on Monday. I've missed Graham. He was injured last week, bless him.
He's at London Zoo, I think, tonight. That's where I think he is. So
they locked him in.
Just imagine him like he'll know one of the animals in our penguin from fucking 60 years ago or something. Oh, hello, mate. How you doing?
We'll leave it there. They'll find out why the weird guy got sacked. Yes, I did. I'll update you on the Hammer It Out podcast. But thank you very much for joining us. Subscribe around here if you're new. As I said, go and check out the Hammer It Out podcast. There are a few highlights on. We're going to start putting some highlights on again during the week, so you can listen to small snippets of it. But if you want the full podcast, you have to be a patron. If you're new around here, subscribe. Go and check out our t-shirts and everything else. It all helps the channel. We'll see you at Reading tomorrow if you're around. Come and find us. I'll be there from about 12:30. We'll be filming a few bits and pieces there. That'll be it. One thing left to say. Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
And stay safe in the sun.
Yes.
Sun cream.